All right, listeners, today we're going deep on a career path that might surprise you.
Yeah?
Rolling stock engine tester.
Definitely not your typical greasy overalls kind of job, right?
No, not at all. Think high-tech labs, computers, engines being pushed to their absolute limits.
It's where brain power meets horsepower, you know?
Exactly. And we're digging into this with some help from RoleCatcher. They've got these crazy detailed career guides, and they've really outdone themselves with this one.
Yeah, they really geek out on the details, which I love. We're talking job basics, industry trends. They even have sample interview questions.
Super helpful stuff.
For sure.
So whether you're thinking about a career change or just love the roar of a powerful engine, buckle up.
Because we are diving in.
So first things first, what does a rolling stock engine tester actually do?
Okay, so picture this. You've got these massive locomotive engines, right? We're talking serious horsepower here. And your job is to put them through their paces, but like with precision, you're mounting them on these intricate test stands.
Like a giant engine checkup.
Exactly. And hooking them up to all sorts of sensors and computer systems.
Mm.
We're talking temperature, fuel consumption, exhaust pressure, you name it, they measure it.
Wow, so it's hands-on, but also very high-tech.
The best of both worlds, really.
Yeah.
It's all about collecting that data and then analyzing it to find even the tiniest problems or areas for improvement.
So you need to be mechanically inclined, but also comfortable with computers and data analysis.
You got it. And that's what makes this career path so interesting. It's a perfect example of how technology is changing even the most traditional industries.
And requiring a whole new set of skills from the workforce.
Absolutely.
This is fascinating. Okay, so we've got a big idea of what these testers do, but what's the day-to-day really like, and what kind of career path can you build from there? And speaking of bridging the gap, RoleCatcher dives into how AI is changing the game for job seekers in this field.
It's pretty amazing. They're using AI to analyze your skills and experience
Okay.
and then match you with potential employers who are looking for people like you.
So it's not just about what you know, it's about how your skills connect with the jobs that are out there.
Right. They could even identify skills that you might not realize could be relevant to this kind of work. Like, say you spent years working on car engines.
Mm-hmm.
AI might flag that as valuable experience for a locomotive engine tester position.
That's so cool. It's like AI playing matchmaker for your career.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just matching skills. RoleCatcher also uses AI to analyze job applications, to help you put your best foot forward.
Like giving you feedback on your resume.
Yeah. They can highlight areas where your resume could be stronger or even give you personalized tips for your interview.
Wow, that's helpful. It's like having a personal career coach, but powered by algorithms.
Exactly. But, even with all the cool tech, at the end of the day, this is still a very hands-on job.
Right, we're talking about real engines, real problem solving. What are some of the challenges that a rolling stock engine tester might face?
Well, RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat it. They make it clear that this is demanding work. We're talking about complex systems, tight deadlines, and a constant focus on safety.
So you need to be able to think on your feet and stay calm under pressure.
For sure. And let's not forget the physical demands. You're often working in tight spaces, maybe in challenging weather conditions. It's not for everyone, that's for sure.
Sounds like you need a good amount of stamina and resilience to thrive in this field.
You got it. But for those who are up for the challenge, the rewards can be pretty awesome.
Okay, let's talk about those rewards. Besides, the obvious coolness factor of working with these powerful machines, what makes this career path so appealing?
Well, job security is a big one.
That's always good.
With the growing demand for sustainable transportation, the rail industry is booming, which means skilled rolling stock engine testers are in high demand.
That's great news for anyone considering this line of work.
And it's not just about job security. There's also a lot of room for growth. RoleCatcher highlights a clear career progression path. You can start as an entry-level technician and work your way up to more specialized roles.
So you could become like the go-to expert on a specific type of engine or even lead a team of testers.
Exactly. You could even get involved in the design and testing of prototype engines, pushing the boundaries of locomotive technology.
And that sounds really cool. Okay, so we've talked about the skills, the challenges, the rewards, but there's one more thing I'm curious about. RoleCatcher mentions something called stringent environmental regulations.
Oh, right.
What's that all about?
Yeah, so basically there are strict rules in place to minimize the environmental impact of locomotives.
Makes sense. These are big, powerful machines. They're bound to have some kind of footprint.
Right, and that's where those regulations come in. They dictate things like the types of fuels that can be used, the emission standards that need to be met.
So as a rolling stock engine tester, you'd be involved in making sure those standards are being met.
Exactly. It's not just about making sure the engine runs smoothly, it's about making sure it runs cleanly, too.
That adds a whole other layer of complexity and importance to this job.
It really does. And it highlights how this field is evolving to meet the demands of a changing world.
It's not just about trains anymore. It's about sustainability. It's about the future of transportation.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about this kind of deep dive. You start with something seemingly specific.
Like train engines.
Right, and you end up uncovering all these broader trends and connections to the bigger picture.
It's like, who knew that a job testing train engines could be so relevant to the future of our planet?
It's pretty cool when you think about it.
It really is. And speaking of cool, RoleCatcher isn't just a one-trick pony, are they? I mean, they cover a lot more than just train-related careers, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. They've got resources for all sorts of industries and career paths. Everything from software development to healthcare to, like, you name it, they've probably got it covered.
So even if our listeners aren't rushing out to apply for a rolling stock engine tester position,
Which, by the way, you totally should if you're interested.
of course, but even if you're not, RoleCatcher is still a valuable resource for anyone who's curious about different careers or just wants to stay ahead of the curve in the job market.
Absolutely. They're all about empowering job seekers with information and tools. It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about AI and job searching and sustainability and the future of work.
Phew, we've covered a lot of ground.
We have. But for our listener who might be thinking, okay, trains are cool, but what does this have to do with ME? What's the key takeaway here?
That's a great question. And I think the biggest takeaway is that no matter what field you're in or what your passions are, the future of work is going to involve this blend of traditional skills and digital fluency.
So it's not about choosing between being like a tech person or a hands-on person. It's about finding ways to combine those skills to create something truly innovative. So, we've spent a lot of time talking about trains and engines.
Quite a deep dive, yeah.
It has been. But here's the thing. This whole conversation has really been about something much bigger than just one specific career path.
Oh, absolutely. This is about transferable skills and how the lines are blurring between what used to be separate fields.
Exactly. Like maybe you're listening to this and you're thinking, trains, not really my thing.
But maybe you've always loved taking apart computers or building things with your hands.
Or maybe you're a whiz with spreadsheets and data analysis.
Those skills, combined with a willingness to learn and adapt, they can take you a long way these days.
That's what's so exciting about this whole thing. So even if you're not planning on becoming a rolling stock engine tester,
Although, seriously, it's a cool job.
it is. But even if it's not your calling, what other industries can you think of where this blend of hands-on skill and digital fluency is in high demand?
Oh, gosh, so many. Aviation, manufacturing,
Hmm.
renewable energy. I mean, think about it. Almost every industry relies on complex machinery these days.
And that machinery is only getting more sophisticated.
Computerized.
Yeah.
So whether you're talking about aircraft mechanics diagnosing problems with jet engines or farmers using drones to monitor their crops, those traditional roles now require a whole new level of tech savvy.
It's like the modern world is calling for a new breed of Renaissance person, right?
Totally. You need to be technically skilled, but also digitally fluent and able to adapt to new technologies as they emerge.
And that's a challenge for sure.
It is. But it's also an incredible opportunity to be at the forefront of innovation, no matter what field you're passionate about.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with this. What are you curious about? What skills do you have that might translate to these evolving industries? And what can you start learning today to prepare yourself for the future of work? It's out there, waiting to be discovered. And on that note, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those engines running.